Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video, we are going to talk about operators. At least we are going to start talking about operators, because we do have quite a lot of operators in Java. So before we start, let's create a new class here. Out, insert, Java class 04, let's call it operators. Okay, and the same thing that you probably are tired of doing, PSBM, and then you press tab. So let's start with arithmetic operators, because they are quite simple, quite straightforward, and we have four main types. The types that we have is sum, addition, subtraction, the minus, the division. Well, maybe the names are wrong. In English, everything's different. And then we have the operator star that we use to multiply. So these four basic mathematical operators are quite straightforward, but since we are talking about programming languages, there are some stuff that you need to be careful when you are let's say coding and especially studying for Java certification. Let's start by creating two variables. They will be integers, and I will call number 01, and I will assign the value 10 to it, and then number 02, and the value will be 20. And I will add here south, and I will press tab, and I'm going to start with the minus operator, the subtraction. Number 02 minus number 01, Control Shift F10, and we have the result 10. So this is quite straightforward. If we were doing the other way, number 01 minus number 02, you will see here that the result is minus 10. So negative numbers is also possible in programming languages. Now we do have some options. If you want, you can store these into another variable. So for example, let's say we would like to store into a variable called result. And result will have number 1 minus number 2. In the end, what we can do here is just print the result. So now we have one space in memory with 10, another one with 20, and another third space in memory. That's the result of the values that we have inside the space number 1 and space number 2. And we have the result minus 10. So minus, pretty straightforward, but now the plus, addition, it's quite tricky if we are working inside the system out println. Now the reason you probably saw in previous videos, we were using this as a concatenation, not as a mathematical operator. In Java, the plus sign is overloaded. It means it can have more than one meaning depending on how you are actually using it and where you are using it. So for example, I will get here number 1 plus number 2. And you may expect this to work as a concatenator operator, but actually it's going to be used as a mathematical operator. So you will see the result 30, as you can see at the bottom here. Now the trick thing is, if you add a string value and then you add another plus sign, otherwise it will not compile. It doesn't matter if you have something inside or not. I will just add something, but it doesn't matter. Java will look at this line number 10 like this. Well, I see here that I have a string, and then I see that you are using the plus sign as concatenator. Well, every plus sign that I see beyond this point will be used as concatenator as well. So now you are not going to see value 30, but you are going to see value 10, 20, because it's not doing a math operation, it's just using this as a string concatenator. That's why you see the results 10, 20. Now, it's even more tricky if we have something like this. I just copied and I'm adding here number 1 and number 2 again. So basically Java is doing this. So looks like this is an integer and this is also an integer, so this should be used as mathematical. But at this point in time, you are using this as concatenator, not as a mathematical operator. So from this point in time, I will use this plus sign as concatenator. So this means that you are going to get 30 value 1020 as a result, as we can see in the console right here. So be careful with this plus operator, especially if you are going to take the OCP certification. They may be trying to trick you with something like this. In real life, honestly, you don't see stuff like that. Same thing, you can also save here and print the result. Spaces in between doesn't matter as well. It's more for readability that we have this space. If we remove the space and we try to format a code holding Control Alt L, you will see that kind of this is the pattern that IntelliJ is following. Okay, and now if we try to multiply, pretty straightforward. Same thing, we have the result. We are multiplying two numbers and the result is 200. But now things start getting interesting again when we use the division sign. Now I'm using the division number 1 by number 2. So if I go here to my calculator and I show you, you see that the result is 0.5. But if I try to execute this code, the result is 0. Interesting, huh? And this is how Java behaves. If we're doing a mathematical operation with two integers, the result will be an integer. And actually IntelliJ is telling you that. If you just hover over, you can see that it's yellow. It was telling that the result is always 0. William, how can I change? If I change the result to double, the result will still be 0 because, well, the math is happening among two integer numbers. But if I change this number to double and I execute now, you will see that we have the correct result. So another tricky thing, be careful. Well, is that another option? Yes, I would not recommend you to use it, but it's a good idea to know that it is possible. Do you remember the casting we saw here? We can do the same in this point in time. So basically, I don't want to change this variable to double. I just want the result of this operation. At the moment of this operation, this number 2 become a double number. I can do the following. So what is happening here? I have number 1, 10. That's going to be divided by. And then before you get the number, Java is going to do this conversion. Okay, so number 2, now you're not integer anymore. You will be doing this math operation as a double. And you will see that the result will also be 0.5. But I do not advise you to do this. It's quite confusing. We do have only maybe 4 lines of code, but always think as you are coding thousands of lines. It can get pretty confusing, so as much as possible try to avoid casting, especially during math operations. Actually, I'm gonna leave it because I want to get rid of the warning. So I think that's enough for one video. Probably we are going to keep talking about operators in the next one. So see you there. Bye.